you You got people in your space that can support you, but also with the same token, you can support them because relationships are reciprocal, right? It's two-way, and you don't only want to be in a space where you are taking, taking, taking. You want to be able to bring something to the table. You want to be able to give something. The same is true in your social circles. The same is true in your business circles. So I just wanted to leave that there with you. All right, in the time that we have today, I want to share with you um, 13 thoughts that stop women over 40 and men over 40 from making progress. And more importantly, I want to share with you how you can overcome them. We are getting ready. We've got 2 more Saturdays to go before we take a break from the Navigating Life Empowerment class. And really, what I want to do is make sure that these things are at the forefront of your mind. I want to make sure that these are at the forefront of your mind, and I want to position you so that in the time when we are not together, in the time that you are in your own space. I know some of you are teachers, you're coaches, you're mentors, you're running your own programs. I want you to take this wisdom that I'm about to share with you. I want you to share it with the people in your space because the battlefield is your mind. Remember, we spoke about this before. We spoke about how it's important to get your thought process right. And over the next few weeks, as you are leaning into growth, as you are leaning into progress, I really want you to be able to talk back to your challenges. Talk back to your problem. Talk back to the thing that is holding you back. I want you to be able to position yourself to talk back. Everybody just type in the chat box, talk back. Talk back to your circumstance. The Bible tells us that death and life is in the power of the tongue. Sometimes you have to talk back to that thing that is talking to you. Talk back to that thing that is holding your thoughts, holding your progress, holding you incarcerated. You got to talk back so that you can make the progress that you need to make. Have you ever just stopped and looked at yourself in the mirror and say, listen, I got this. Listen, I can do this. Me and Jesus, we are working in partnership right now. I'm not by myself. I am partnering with, I am merging my thoughts with his thoughts, my ways with his ways, my feelings with his emotions, so that you can be on top. Just type the words on top in the chat box. You got to talk back. You got to position yourself to be on top. And here's the thing, right? You're not only talking back to the challenges, you are also talking back to the wins. When things are going well, you got to encourage yourself. You got to pick yourself up. You got to make sure that you are speaking life to your circumstance, speaking life to yourself. Sometimes the reality is the situation is dead and there is no coming back from it, right? There is no, you see on those medical programs, they get the defibrillators and they, right, stand back clear, and they're trying to pump life back into a situation. There are some situations that are dead. Let's be real about it. And you have to walk away from it. You have to know, when am I walking away and when am I staying here? So when you're talking back, you're talking back to this situation. You're saying to the situation, if life and death is in the power of my tongue, there are some situations that are dead and I'm walking away, and there are some situations that are alive and well, and what I need is an injection of strength. What I need is an injection of courage, an injection of clarity. You heard Chantel say this at yesterday's session. She came and she took away an injection of clarity, an injection of Zena took away being ready at all times. Michelle took away a timely, transformative experience. These are all injections of thoughts, of words, of processes, of things that you can implement. So one of the reasons why this is important, one of the reasons why it's important to get clarity and to talk back, is because sometimes we are in a situation and it's stuck. Have you ever just been stuck? Just type a number 2 in the chat box. Have you ever just been stuck? Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, just get me out of this situation. Yeah, you're saying get me out of the situation, but you don't know how. Have you ever had your back up against the wall and you're like, listen, I feel so low right now, I think I might be in hell, right? Sometimes that's the reality of life. Sometimes you are in a scenario, and you have to be able to find the strength to encourage yourself. You got to be able to find something from within yourself to say, look, I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know where I am. I don't know how I'm going to overcome this circumstance. But what I do know is that I'm not staying here. What I do know is that I'm going to make progress and I'm going to move on. Let me quickly drop this here because I want to use this as a case study for your ability to navigate those thoughts. Over the past over the past 4 years, I've written 5 books. Let's start with the three in the middle, the Navigating Life anthologies, where we speak about mindset, identity, and relationships, health, grief, and loss, motherhood, change, and emotional roller coasters. We shared or we wrote those books during the global pandemic. I was running the Navigating Life Empowerment class. So some of the authors are on the line now. Deborah from Barbados, Simone, I see you. Charmaine, I see you. We're across 2 pages today. So if there are others of you here, please do forgive me. But we wrote these books to help encourage people who are navigating challenging seasons of life. Every single one of those stories share their transformation of how they were able to overcome a challenging season of life. I refer to them as ambassadors of hope. I refer to them as women who are conquerors. I refer to them as women who are able to overcome any situation. There are nuggets of wisdom. There are nuggets of strength. These women are real live women, right? Sometimes we look at women in the Bible, but sometimes we also need to look at women who are in our spaces, women who are living in and amongst us, who are doing amazing things. And 37 women, every single one of these women in the anthology series, demonstrated how they were ambassadors of hope. They demonstrated how they were able to talk back to their situation. They demonstrate how they were able to come on top after navigating a challenging season of life. So the first thing I want you to think about when self-doubt sets in, and yes, I might be using the case study of writing a book, but the same is true for anything. You can apply these strategies to anything, right? I want you to be able to speak to self-doubt. Sometimes people doubt themselves because they don't believe the message that they have or the business that they have is good enough. Listen, you are not writing for approval. You are not speaking for approval. You are saying to self-doubt, somebody needs to hear my voice. My story carries a message that only I can deliver. I want you to speak to self-doubt. Self-doubt has no space, no room, no right, no authority, no power over who you are and what you are called to do. You need to be able to tell self-doubt, my voice matters. I want you to type that in the chat box today. My voice matters. You have to be able to speak to the doubt that is lodging in your mind. Speak to the fear, the doubt, the dismay that is lodging in your mind, because if you don't, it will hinder your progress. I want you to cancel every excuse that self-doubt presents. Perfectionism. Whatever you're doing, have you ever done something for the first time and it wasn't the greatest? Right? The first time you went to the gym, your routine was probably not as good as the 10th time. Have you ever written the first draft of your book? The final draft is going to be much better than the first draft. Have you ever baked a cake? I remember the first time I baked a cake. It was for my son's first birthday party. Okay, it was 27 years ago. It was for his first birthday. I remember taking this thing out of the oven and looking at this like, I don't even know who's going to eat this. I mean, he was one. Who cares? Now, I'm in no way am I claiming to be a baker, but I can make a good carrot cake. Like I can make a decent cake. And what I'm saying is sometimes the first time that you do something, it's going to be messy. It's not going to be perfect. Some of you are wanting to do video reels and increase your visibility on social media and increase your visibility on LinkedIn or wherever your clients are hanging out. Just accept the first time you do a Facebook Live or a LinkedIn Live, just accept the first time that you record a video, it's going to be messy. It's not going to be perfect, but progress beats perfection every time. Here's my recommendation for you, for those of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, just practice. Just practice. Practice, practice, practice. I remember I was listening to my daughter speaking to some of her friends who are, getting into the world of makeup and exploring with different things. They said, look, just practice. Even if you're going to the shop, you're going to Tesco, just put on a full face of makeup. It's okay if your makeup doesn't look okay when you're going to Tesco, but when you really do your makeup for a wedding or a big event that you want to go to, all those practices, every time you've put on a full face of makeup just to go to Tesco, by the time you're ready to go to a big event, you'll be ready. The same is true for your Facebook lives. The same is true for your LinkedIn lives. The same is true for your book writing. The same is true for whatever it is that you are picking up. Make progress over perfection. I want you just to type that in the chat box. Chat box. Make progress. Don't look for perfection, even if you're at home, right? And you're thinking, oh my gosh, just practice doing a video. You don't have to send the video, right? Nobody's going to see the video. Just practice so that the time when you are now ready, you have already got experience in the bank. You have already got systems in the bank that will help you. Number 3, fear of judgment. Listen, courage is louder than criticism. I don't want you to get hooked on the opinions of others. Everybody has an opinion in social media land. Listen, everybody is an opinion. Everybody is judge and jury on social media. Everybody wants to tell you how you can fix your life and what you should be doing and all sorts. Listen, do not take criticism from people who are not in the arena of greatness. If you are not in the arena of greatness, then your criticism doesn't count. And I heard this famous saying, which I live by. Criticism is okay as long as it doesn't get to your heart. In the same way, success is okay as long as it doesn't get to your head. And you have to be able to balance the two. Do not allow criticism to get to your heart. Do not allow success to get to your head, because we want to ensure that we focus on making progress. Do not be afraid of the judgment. Focus on impact. Some of you are running impact businesses. Some of you are operating in the environmental ESG space, the environmental, social, and governance space. Focus on the impact. Focus on impact. When you focus on impact, then judgment all of a sudden starts moving down the pecking order. So what if it wasn't perfect? I've just created 10,000 jobs. So what if it wasn't perfect? I've just supported 15 children to go to school. So what if it wasn't perfect? And then you can make progress as you are moving. Progress over perfection. Listen, it's not too late. Just type that in the chat box. It's not too late. You are not too late. You are right on time. Your life experiences give you depth. They give you wisdom. They give you richness. For those of you who are writing, younger authors do not have the depth and the wisdom and the richness of their life experience. For those of you who are starting businesses, your depth, your wisdom, your experience counts for something. It's not too late. The very fact that you are alive, the very fact that you are breathing means it is not too late. I want you to extract the wisdom, extract the depth, extract the experience so that you can capture whatever it is that you are doing, whatever project, whatever plan you are working on. If it's a book, if it's a business, look, even if it's just about getting another job, even if it's about just starting a charity, sharing your experiences, it's never too late. If you have this idea, I want you to think about how you nurture this idea and bring it to fore. Number 5, lack of time. Listen, under the clock, we are all equal. Everybody has 24 hours in their day. I want you to start prioritizing your plan, whether it's writing, whether it's exercise, whether it's reviewing your finances, whether it's building your business. How can you tell me there's not enough time? What do you mean there's not enough time? There is 24 hours in your day. You have to start prioritizing the things that are important. And I can tell the things that are important, even without you saying anything. Just let me see your diary. I will know what's important by just looking at your diary. I will know what's important by the way how you structure your sleeping habits. Who's staying up scrolling on Instagram, looking at everybody else's life? Who's staying up scrolling through Netflix, looking at everybody else's movies, the movies of everybody else's life? I want you to prioritize a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes every day, whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's writing, whether it's your social media, whether it's building out your business, whether it's fixing your finances, whether it's working on your health regime, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. Focus a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes every day so that you can move with consistency. Just type that word in the chat box. Move with consistency. Move with consistency. The reason I'm asking you to type this in the chat box is so that you can hear it in your own mind. When you type, right, you have to type move with consistency. I want you to say it. If this was a live event, I would have you say out loud, move consistency. The very things that I'm telling you to type, I would ask you to say them because it's important that you hear it in your own voice. Listen, I want you to move past the feeling of overwhelm. And one of the ways how you can move past the feeling of overwhelm is this. Have you ever heard anyone ask you the question, can you eat an elephant? If you've heard that question being asked before, just type a number 3 in the chat box. If you've ever heard anybody ask the question, can you eat an elephant? Yes, 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 I see you, I see you, I see you. Yes, Shalina, yes, Cheryl, yes, yes, yes. The answer is yes, of course you can. You eat an elephant one chunk or one piece at a time. So what I want you to do, rather than leaning into overwhelm, I want you to break down the task at hand. If you are writing a book, break it down chapter by chapter, lesson by lesson, paragraph by paragraph. That's why I shared with you, for those of you who are on the book writing journey with me, for the 50 golden lessons. Here we go. I shared with you, I gave you a template to use. I gave you a template of not of 50 lessons that I wrote and then shared with you. Take my templates, use them chapter by chapter, line by line. Celebrate one victory or create one big victory at a time. And the way how you do this is just piece by piece. Don't feel overwhelmed at looking, oh my gosh, I've got this 10-year plan. How am I going to make it work? Just take the plan that you got to do for this week, and then this month, and then the next quarter, and then the next quarter, and then before you know it, you'll be working on a 12-month plan, and then before you know it, you'll be working on a 5-year plan, and then before you know it, you'll be working on a 10-year plan. Take these ideas, take the process chunk by chunk, and as you take the process chunk by chunk, what you'll realize is, actually, I need people on my team. There are more people that I need to support me, to help me, to make progress in the way that I am going. Because no person is an island, right? Everybody needs somebody in their space. Everybody needs somebody who can help them make progress, who can help them move from where they are to ultimately to where they want to be. And so as you're making progress, I want you to lean into the question that you're asking yourself is, who's on my team? Who else should I be asking for support? Who can I give support to? Who can I help hold up? Whose hands can I help, and who can help me? Number 7. This is for those of you who are writing a book. You don't write a book by thinking I need a publisher first. You start by writing first. Publishing comes second. So whatever it is that you are doing, just start the process. Maybe for those of you who are not writing a book, you think, oh my gosh, I need to start a business. I need a logo. I need a website. No, you do not. The first thing that you need to do is get the idea out of your head. Put the idea out of your head, put it on paper. You don't need a logo to start a business. You don't need a website to start a business. You need clarity of thought. You need structure. You need a system. Get all of those things from out of your head onto paper or onto your laptop, onto your PC, onto your device. As you get those ideas out of your head, then you can start moving things around. Then you can start creating order and structure. The reason I'm telling you this is because I'm trying to cancel the excuse of overwhelm. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do that I can't get started. Stop it. Stop right now. Yes, you can get started. Just take this one step at a time. Just take this one step at a time. One step at a time. Financial fears. Listen, everybody has financial obligations. And sometimes we miss out because we are not asking the right questions. Sometimes we miss out because we are not partnered or connected to the right types of people. Sometimes there are free or low cost resources that you can invest in until you build up your financial portfolio to start investing on a different level, right? The internet is free. Okay, you got to pay for Wi-Fi, but the internet is free. right? You have the world's resource in the palm of your hand. Use your time wisely to attract or acquire the information that you need. Start with free or low cost resources. And as you grow, as you increase your capacity, start building up and start investing in your dreams, start investing in your legacy. Now, listen, the saying is true. You pay for what you get. There are some things that are free, and you think to yourself, yeah, okay, I need a little bit more. That's when investment comes in. And so sometimes you've got to have your own invest in me fund. How many of you have got an invest in me fund? Your invest in me fund is your own pot that is for the progress of you, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your well-being, whether it's your financial future. How are you investing in you? Some of you are going to the gym, some of you are investing in your own ideas, your fun, the things that you want to do. How are you investing in you? How are you increasing your capacity for more? Listen, I have an invest in me fund. You've heard the saying, I think Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says this all the time. Pay yourself first. When you pay yourself first, you are investing in yourself first. And that investment isn't only in life, but it's in fun things. It's in enjoyment. How many people just want to be making money to pay bills? Like Michelle said this the last time. Do you want to travel economy or do you want to travel premium? You have to be able to invest yourself. We were speaking about this yesterday. You have to be able to invest in yourself. You got to get away from those financial fears. And one of the ways of moving away from financial fears at this age and stage of life is to face it. Just type in the chat box, face it. Whatever those fears are holding you incarcerated or holding your mindset in bondage, face it. If it's the debts that are piling up, if it's the unopened envelopes, if it's the bills that are, they're not going to disappear. In fact, if you don't open those envelopes, all that's going to happen is it's going to get worse. Take a breath. I remember I was working with one of my mentees a couple of years ago, and she was just beside herself in a real significant financial hole. And she said to me, look, I've got all these letters at home and I just can't open them. So I said to her, look, put them in a bag and bring them to my office. Listen, she came to my office with two Tesco bags of unopened letters, and we literally spent the whole time opening up those letters and organizing those letters. And in that moment, as we finished the task, I mean, this is basic administration. We went through them and realized, okay, this needs immediate action. These we can hold off, and these are things that we need to do. And I gave her a plan. This is what you say. This is how you're going to do it. And over the course of the period of time, slowly we were able to address some of the debts that she had piled up, and put a plan in place to ensure that we don't allow our finances or lack of finances to hold us in a prison. When you've paid a debt, don't you just feel a weight just move off your shoulders? Have you ever had a debt and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's finished. Like, I don't have to pay this anymore. Financial fears has the capacity to just have a dark cloud over your progress. And one of the ways how you can move through this is just by facing it. Number 9, comparing yourself to others. Listen, I said this earlier on. I want you to stay in your lane. Your voice, your path, your journey, and needs you to stay in your lane and celebrate your authentic expression. This isn't only about authorship, it's about your business, it's about your life, it's about your car. Stop looking at somebody else's Lexus. Stop looking at somebody else's Porsche. Stop looking at somebody else's Lamborghini. Be happy with your Ford Fiesta. Be happy with your Mitsubishi. Be happy with where you are. Be happy with what you've got until the time comes when you can upgrade. Then you will make progress yourself. Listen, everybody's at a different age and stage of life. You can't be looking at Claudine's 30 odd years in business and comparing yourself who's just started. That's unfair. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself an injustice. Stay in your lane. You can, of course, get inspiration from those people. Sure, you can. I look at somebody, I mean, right now, I'm an Uber queen. Like, somebody stole my Lexus and people say, oh, Claudine, you get another car. I have gotten very used to Uber coming to my door. Open. Listen, when I get those 5 stars, when they see me coming, they get out, they open the door for me. I've gotten used to this life. My daughter said to me, Mum, you're going to get a car. I said, what for? I love, I can sit in the back of the car. I've got my laptop. I'm doing my work. If there's road problems, it's not my problem. They take me to where I'm going. Even if the journey, I remember I was going to Ashford a couple of weeks ago and the round trip, it was not Ashford, Essex. The round journey was £100, £50 there, £50 back. But that was my travel for the month. Whereas if I'd had a car, that would easily. I remember my accountant sharing with me my car expenditure for the year when I had my Lexus was £15,000 on a car for a year. And then when he did the comparative study for me, the year my car got stolen, the following year, he said, "This year, Claudine, you've only spent £4,500 on transportation on Uber. Are you buying a car?" I'm like, "Are you mad? Why would I do that?" Uber, I feel like I'm my my sister called, "What do you think you are, a passenger princess?" Yes. Yeah, I like that title. I'm happy. My point is this, ladies and gentlemen, stop the comparison. Everybody does things for their own reason, for their own journey, and according to their own budget. Right now, I don't need a car. Maybe you do, but this is not about a comparison, right? Right now, I don't need I don't need a full face of makeup. Maybe that's what you want. This is not about comparison. It's about where you are and living out your journey in your own way. I want you to stop with the belief that your story isn't enough. It is enough. Your story is enough. You are enough. I want you just to type that in the chat box. I am enough. Your authenticity is enough. Your transformation is enough. Your ordinary moments told truthfully is what changes lives. So maybe this isn't about you being an author. Maybe some of you are public speakers. Maybe some of you are thinking about sharing stories on social media. Maybe some of you are thinking about repositioning your leadership or repositioning your brand. I want you to believe that you are enough. You do not have to be anyone else. You don't have to be something else. Be yourself. You are enough. The thing that maybe you need to work on is the way how you tell that story. Ordinary stories told truthfully is what changes lives. But the thing that you might want to learn, the skill that you want to learn, is how do I tell that truthful story in a way that grabs the attention of others? How do I tell that ordinary story in a truthful way that changes lives? How do I tell an ordinary story of an ordinary moment in a truthful way that has the capacity to inspire and impact people? That's the skill. But you don't need to change the story. You don't need to make it anything else that you are not. I want you to be able to tell those stories in an extraordinary way that brings transformation. So here we go. Claudine, I don't know where to start, is what people say. The first question I'm going to ask you is why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to write? Maybe writing's not your thing. Why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to create a personal investment fund? Why? Just type why in the chat box. Why do you want to do this? That's the first question that you want to ask yourself. Why do I want to do this? Then the second question that you want to ask yourself is who? Who am I doing this for? Why do I want to do it? And who am I doing this for? For some of you, the who could be your family. It could be your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, your godchildren, whoever. The who and the why and the who are really important to help you keep going, especially when doubt tries to take hold of you, especially when seeds of dismay try to plant themselves in your mind. You need to have something that reminds you of why I am doing this and who I am doing this for. Number 12, I don't want you to be haunted by previous failures. I don't want you to be haunted by your past. Your past does not disqualify you. Your past does not disqualify you. It prepares you. I want you to type that in the chat box. My past prepares me. Everything that I have experienced from now until then gives me credibility. Everything that I have experienced from from then until now gives me credibility. It's not shame, it's not guilt, it's my story, and it's bringing me into the fruition of who I am. My past does not disqualify me, it prepares me to be authentic, it prepares me to lean into the real challenges of life, it prepares me to bring transformation into situations, it prepares me to be powerhouse. It prepares me to bring inspiration. It prepares me to be a real solution to people who are experiencing the same or similar life challenges. Do not allow your previous failures to haunt you. That's the beauty of storytelling. Let me go back here. It's about you believing your story is enough. So wherever you have come from, whatever you have experienced, whatever shame, whatever guilt, whatever circumstance life has presented to you, you can use that truthful story when it's appropriate for you. You can use that truthful story to empower, to impact, to transform, to inform other people to your credibility and not to your shame. The last thing I want to share with you today is waiting for inspiration to strike. Listen, sometimes you might not be inspired. Sometimes you may not be motivated, but I want you to be disciplined, right? I want you to type that word discipline in the chat box. Building a business, writing a book, going to the gym, eating right, drinking water is not about inspiration. Creating a saving fund is not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's not about, oh, I feel, so great. Let me do this today. Maybe that could be true. Or I don't feel great. I'm not going to do it today. That too could be true. But it's not about the inspiration. It's about the discipline. It's about doing the very thing even when you don't feel like it because you know that it is good for you. You know that drinking water is good for you. You know that going to bed before midnight is good for you. You know that building an investment fund is good for you. You know that the discipline of focusing in on your business is good for you. You know the discipline of prayer is good for you. You know the discipline of meditation is good for you. You know the discipline of walking is good for you. You know the discipline of just sitting and being in your own space is good for you. This isn't about inspiration. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me. I'm waiting for somebody to remind me. No, you are 40 years old. Discipline. This is not about waiting for somebody to clap you on the back and tell you, well done. Discipline. The way how I built my business, the way how I wrote my books, the way how I'm able to maintain my health is through discipline. Not because I like it. Do I like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning? No. Sometimes for those of you who are in my mentorship group, I create a virtual library, and the virtual library is the place where we meet at 6 o'clock every morning for a period of time, not because we love it, but because it's the discipline of getting things done. So I want you to think about now, from now on, what discipline do I need to lean into? What do I need to do to consistently build who I am and consistently build the pathway of where I want to go or where I want to get to? I wanted to share this with you today because I want to make sure that you have the keys, Keys, that you have the keys to unlock excuses, that you have the keys to pull down courage, that you have the keys to pull down clarity, you have the keys to pull down wisdom, you have the keys to open the door to whatever opportunity you are stepping into. I'm stepping into a season of opportunity and I want you to do the same. I shared this with you before. And I told you that I told Patrick, my husband, that my money is pregnant. And he said to me, are we having triplets? I said, yes, we are having triplets. And opportunities are coming to fruition. Opportunities that I have planted 12 months ago, 18 months ago are now coming to fruition. And that's the other thing I want you to take into consideration. Sometimes you're working on something and sometimes you don't see the result that you want to have in that moment because it takes time, and so you need to exercise patience. And so really what I'm wanting you to do, and the reason why I've shared these 13 thoughts, is because I want you to get your mind ready. get your mind ready. Get your mind ready for the opportunity that you are preparing for. And one of the ways that you get your mind ready is by canceling the excuses. Once you cancel those excuses, you can then move in or lean into the mood that it creates for you. You got to be in the right frame of mind. You want your emotions to be at the right place so that your emotions will impact your thinking. Your emotions will impact your movements. Your emotions will impact the things that you do in order to make progress. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want that by the end of July, you are ready to leverage those opportunities. You are ready. Some of you have been sowing for a while. Some of you have been working for a while in the background. Now is your time. Now is your time. But it doesn't just happen like that. It happens because you thought about it. It happens because you wrote it. You wrote the vision. You made it plain. You built your team. You built your structure. You got the clarity that you need. You got yourself ready. You done a proper cost analysis. You understood the cost of sales. You understood what position that you need. You understood all of those components, and now you are ready to move. For those of you who are looking for a mentor, the doors for my mentorship are open. I have already sent out my calendar. I'll probably do the same again for those of you who want to have a conversation with me about mentorship. I've got some slots open for you. I'll send that out to you this week so you can book in and you can ask some questions, and then you can get signed up, so that for those of you who need hand holding, for those of you who want to be exposed to a bigger group, a bigger level of accountability. And that's the other thing that's really, really important. Accountability is key. I still have mentors now that I've never in my career believed that I have arrived at a place. There are levels to this thing, right? Here I am, or here you are thinking, yeah, I've made enough progress. Listen, you go into another room, that's a whole different conversation. You go into another room. Yesterday, we were in Birmingham talking about global opportunities and global business. I'm off to Atlanta, woohoo, in September. If anybody wants to come, actually, it is an open invitation. Again, I will be sending information out about this, but if you want to come to Atlanta with me in the first week in October, first, second, third, and 4th of October. One of my regional reps has organized a package, but I will share all of this information. The reason I'm saying this is because there are opportunities, and sometimes in order to leverage those opportunities, we need to move from where we are to go into a different location. We need to move from where we are to get into a different space. And so I'm opening up those doors of mentorship, but I'm also opening up doors of opportunity. And the first thing that I want you to think about, the first thing that I want you to be cognizant of is your thought process, where you are, what you are thinking, and how you can best open up those opportunities. We've come to the end of another Saturday morning session. And you know, I love being here with you all. All right, I don't normally take questions, but I see two hands. I see Chantel and Zena. So I'm only going to take two questions, and then we're going to wrap up because I am going to Wimbledon today to watch the tennis. My sister-in-law said, yes, but Claudine, people are fainting. Listen, I got a sun hat and I'm going to Wimbledon. So, all right, we'll go to Chantel first and then Zena, and then we'll wrap up. Over to you, Chantel.
Thank you